Hey everyone, back again, working on the 59 here, and finally got to this door thing. Quite a few been asking about the doors, especially Mike over there at Desert Rat. Guess it's time to come clean as to why I haven't been, or I've been so reluctant to do these doors, but I'm to the point now. They have to be done, and this one I've got mounted and actually functioning fairly well after about 4 hours of screwing around. And I'll show you what caused all of this problems, and it goes way back to when I was doing the A-pillar replacements with them aftermarket ones, and anybody that watched those videos saw how bad those fit, and they were the good ones. So I'll just show you what's going on, why I'm having so much trouble with this. I'll just take it to the other side and then bring it back over here. So with these A-pillars, there was lots of problems with them. I ended up going from here up, just above the upper hinge pocket, up to the corner here. They were so bad in shape that I had to weld the bottom in on the alignment spots and then actually heat and twist them because they pointed out to the sides for some stupid reason. And after the fact, when I started fitting the doors, I had issues with the door hitting the A-pillar right in here and on the front edge where the lip of the door goes, which really scared me because I was worried about the windshield. So I took the old windshield and set it in here, and I had my glass guy come. And when I set the windshield in, I set it on sections of the original rubber so that the spacing was right. And he said there's no issue with the windshield fitting. The gap here is fairly big, but he said it wouldn't be a problem. And that is probably because of these A-pillars. The strange part about it is everything lined up here and everything lined up here once I put the twist in, where the two pieces come together. But this is out. So either this is wider or it's built differently, and there's no way to dissect this because there's two layers of steel in here. So on the passenger side, after all of this screwing around I had yesterday, getting this door to fit, I still have some issues. I have to add a little bit of material here. Now, these things were anything but perfect from the factory to begin with. The other issues, this is part of the new A-pillar, and you can see that the angle on it is wrong. The other side, it's short by almost ½ an inch, so I have to add to that. But the other thing I had to do to get these doors to fit was I had to grind the front edge of the door all the way around back to here to get it to go into the slot. And I also had to, well, the good thing about this door is it fits perfectly now. Oop, there goes the window crank. It latches really nice. When I did the alignment on it, I did it without the door latch in so that I could make sure that all my body lines lined up. So on the hinges themselves, what I ended up having to do was I cut a 12 gauge disc with a hole saw on the drill press, and then drilled them out to 3/8 for the bolts, and had to move the hinges this way, and which got the door back far enough that it would go in and close properly. I have a little bit of final adjustment to do, just a tiny little bit. The other problem I have is the structure in the bottom of this door must be rusted out because the door moves back and forth. So I'm going to have to get in there, build some of the new structure, and the rear bolt, the welded or captured nut stripped out so it doesn't do anything either. So I've got that to deal with, but pretty happy with how it closes. Had some more sticker shock today. I just got a price on some weather stripping for these doors around the windows, and it's absolutely disgusting how much it costs. So when I get to the other door here, I'll show you what I'm going to do, how I'm going to get it mounted, the adjustments and stuff I'm going to do on it. And once I get all that finalized, then I can take the door off. A little bit of rust to fix here. Got to fix the bottom. The actual bottom of the door itself isn't rusty. It's just that I think there was a big mouse nest built on top of where the hinge bolts in, and it's rusted out. So I'll have to rebuild that. So that'll be next thing we do. We'll get this the other door mounted and fit, and then we can worry about fixing rust and structure. Hey everyone, we're back again. Another week has passed. We're into another Sunday here, and a whole lot of procrastinating going on. I just don't seem to be getting anywhere on this project. Gonna have to get off my lazy ass, I guess, quit enjoying the nice weather and get back to work. But I have got something done. I got both doors are fit, hung now. I've got the hinges bolted in with grade 8 bolts and lock washers for the last time. So now I can get busy on the doors. There's not a lot to do on them, but there is some. At the bottom of this one, the skin, it has been tore loose and cracked. And the only other thing I have is just a little bit of trimming to do at the front edge here, and then I have to weld up this piece. This one you can see the body lines line up really good, and it's closing really nice. So no drop. Once again, what I did, I took the latch off and I fit the door, then installed the latch again. So this side, for some reason, wasn't as bad as the other side. I did put shims behind the hinges in the body, but this one I used a 14 gauge washer that I made on the drill press with a hole saw. Everything's good there now, so now I can remove the door from the hinges and get in here and clean it up. This one, the structure isn't broke loose at the bottom, so I don't have to get into there. All I have to do on this one is fix the bottom, weld up around the front, clean up the rust, and get this all cleaned up for new weather stripping here. Get everything sanded. Once I get these doors done, then I'm going to get in here. Got to strip the interior again, pull everything out, get everything sanded, get some primer and some paint in here, and then we can finally start on wiring and getting this thing ready to drive. Okay, I got this door up on a set of sawhorses here, and it's a little bit worse than I thought. We got some rust on the structure here, goes around the corner up to about here, and you can see that the skin is all split from the rust. So that's going to be a little bit of a chore to fix. And then the worst part of it is, again, we're going back to these stinking mice. You can see this front lip here is rusted out all the way down in there. So that's not going to be a real easy repair. But we're going to have to figure something out because I can't... I'm not going with another set of doors. They're just too expensive. Everything else we fixed on this, I guess we should be able to fix that. So I've just got a little bit of penetrating fluid, a mixture of acetone and ATF on these screws. I'm going to get everything disassembled. I've got a bunch of new trim or rubber seals coming for when I put the doors back together here. Okay guys, we're getting into this. I got all the guts out of the door. That was quite the chore, getting the window regulator, wing window out. and now I'm on the bottom here. So just trying to figure out what's good and what's bad. And this is all really solid steel up here and over here. It's just this corner that was all pooched. And so what I did was I just used the grinder and I ground the edge of this to separate the hem that's folded over from the skin itself to give me access to the inner structure here. And the inner structure looks like I'm going to have to replace from here down with this 90 along the bottom and then across over here to this drain on the bottom. So I'm going to build this piece first. Then I'm going to, I believe I'm just going to replace this whole piece of skin, just the corner of it here over to the side. I think it'll be stronger and a better repair. So I'm going to get this piece working on this, and then I'll bring you back and show it to you. Got the first piece fabricated here. I took a piece of 18 gauge, bent it at 90 degrees, figured out my length and my height, and then on the end here I came in at a 45, and I left this long and I bent it around the corner here. I didn't want all of my seams in exactly the same spot. So now when I make this piece, it'll come down here, tie into this corner, and we'll get extra strength. So I'm going to get some more weld put on this, and then I'll build this other piece. This piece is going to have to be shrunk into the curve here. Okay, the inner repairs are done here. All the way around, I got everything ground. There was one spot here, there's a piece of structure from this hinge mount that had a tab come down. I had to drill a hole and put a plug weld in there. Nothing serious. So what I've done now is I've put a mark where I want my patch to go. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to draw a line across, and we'll get the outer skin cut off and a patch made. Okay, we got weld-through primer everywhere we need it to be. I think everything's trimmed where it's supposed to be. Okay, we got a nice parallel line here, parallel line here. So now it's just a matter of getting everything pulled down and welding it all together. Here we go. See if we can wreck this door. Okay, let's see if we can weld this up and make a mess of it. A little bit of discrepancy here in height. Okay, that worked out pretty good. Okay, I'll get this all welded up, ground down, and then we can move on to the tough repair. Okay, we got this corner all done. I just sanded it with some 150. It's not perfect. It's not getting body worked. There's nothing on this truck that's perfect. So the other thing I had to do here is the bottom hem where it was folded over was cracked from about where my finger is here up to here. So I ground that down, welded it, and then just dressed it up a little bit. I'll just flip the door over here and show you the inside of this repair. Man, these things are heavy. Get you over here. Okay, so this is the new piece I welded in on the outside, and then this is the new structure I put in here. So I'll just get this sanded down. Just going to put some red oxide primer on it, and then once I get into painting the interior, I'm going to just sand the whole inside of the door here and give it a coat of paint. I mixed up a color pretty close to this. We'll get into that at a later date here. So next we're going to work on trying to repair this rust up in the top part of the door pillar there, and see how that goes. Okay guys, we're into the last rust repair on this driver's side door, and as you can see, this is the dog leg where it starts to go up around the window and the vent window, and somehow this is all rusted out all the way around up to about here, and it ties into structure inside right in here. So even out here it's rusty. So I think my plan is I'm going to grind this edge off just to take this hem off, and then I'm going to cut this piece out, make a new one, slide it in underneath this lip, and up here I had to do some trimming because of that bad pillar. So the top strip is, you can see right here, I've already ground the inside piece off, so I'm going to replace that as well as this inner lip, and that'll give me full strength. So I think what I'm going to have to do is bend a 90 on the brake that will start about here. I'll make it come down, all the way down and around the corner to right here, about an inch wide. I can shrink and stretch where it sits here, and then I'll have to shrink and stretch on the top side here as well to get it to follow this curve, and then I'll add this corner in after the fact. So that's kind of the plan. I guess we'll see what happens here, see what kind of nasty stuff is sitting on the inside there. Well, I'm just going to grind this edge just to separate these two pieces here. Going to take a real light touch. Don't want to take too much. There we go. The outer skin seems to be in good shape, so try and take as little as possible. I don't want to deform it. It's not liking to come apart here. Okay, so that's the piece that was hemmed over top here. That's going to allow me, I see there's a spot weld right here I'm going to have to get rid of, and then I'll just gently open this up so that this piece will come out of there. Okay, what I've chosen to do here is I'm going to come up, I put a piece of 1-inch masking tape. That's the piece I'm going to cut out. I'm going to cut just below the top edge of the tape here. And then I got to try and figure out how to cut across here and across here and down. It's going to be a real tricky cut, but we'll get her figured out. We'll get that cut, and then we'll see how hard it's going to be to make this piece. I actually found two plug welds or spot welds here that I had to grind off. Well, that was fun. Not. So I got the piece out. I've got rust converter sprayed on it. This is the piece here. It was quite a mess. This piece is welded in 3 spots on this tab for the mirror, as well as in this corner to the outer skin, which made getting it out of there a real pain in the ass. So I'm going to start making the new one now, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so here's our pattern. This is the rusty piece that we cut out of the door. I have a piece of 18 gauge that's 1 inch by 1 1/8, and I've got to put this this shape into it here. So I'm going to start out by shrinking this first section. It starts out pretty straight. Just a slight bit of shrink in it. Okay, we got a long ways to go on that. I'm just going to keep shrinking away, and then once I get it matching this here, then I'll have to do some stretching on this one. Okay, I've got it all roughed out here. It's going to need a whole bunch of manipulating. There's parts of it are over 90 degrees and parts of it are under 90 degrees. So time to get out the little anvil and some dollies and start beating on this thing. Okay, we got everything prepped, ready to go. This is my patch. It's going to take a little bit of finessing. So once I got this thing bent up and shaped, I found that there was a depression or a raised area in this part of the skin, and it was to go over top of this tab that is spot welded to the inner skin of the door. So I had to cut this out. Now I've got to make a piece that'll go in here, slip underneath here, and then I'll have to weld it along there. I've got 2 plug holes here for plug welding to the structure, as well as 2 more up here. So next, what I'm going to do is get this piece all tack welded in, and then I'll start working on this filler piece that goes in here. And then we can trim this skin to match the skin that's there. We'll add the extra tab and we'll weld everything in place. Back at her again here. So I got this other piece made now. As you can see, I had to step this little area down around here to go over top of this flange where this gets plug welded. And then I opened up the hem here so that this piece would slide in. Get this piece in place. It's a pretty snug fit. Going to take a little persuasion. There we go. Okay, so that one's ready to weld in. And then the other thing I didn't mention was I have this all tack welded in already. And then I made another pattern for the hem that goes over top of this. Get this in here. So that, I've got to cut that out of 18 gauge, make it a perfect fit, and then it's going to get welded to the outer skin and tacked to this new structure I put on the inside here. So next thing I'm going to do is get this welded in. The spot weld's done, and then before I get everything welded up solid, I want to put this outer piece on because I want to tie it all together so nothing can move. Okay, so we got this all cleaned up. I did all the lower welds. I got this end all plug welded in. I've made my strip, my hem strip here. It's going to go on. I'm going to have to trim it up completely so that it's an exact match to the outline of the door. And I'm going to have to clamp it down really gently so as not to deform the actual door. Get the vice grip set properly here. So what I've done, I drilled a few plug weld holes. I'm going to do those first, and then I'm going to give this a final grind, and then I'm just going to tack it all the way along, and then just do little tacks, get the whole leading edge of it done, and then we can grind it all. It's going to take quite a bit of time to do this so that I don't screw it up. So we'll get busy here, do a little bit of welding. We got the plug welds all in, and I pulled the 3 pieces of skin together. The outer, the new inner piece I put, and then the sandwich in between. Just put a little bit of vice grip pressure on them. I'm just going to grind these so that all 3 are exactly the same height now, and then I'm going to weld the whole seam here. Then I can finish welding all of this and grind it up. We'll call this repair done. Man, oh man, it takes forever. It's actually nice enough to open the door of the shop and let some light in. So I've got everything welded up now. I got a whole mess of grinding to do, and we'll see how this repair turned out here. So let's have it. Okay, we got this all dressed down, ground off. Going to put a little seam sealer in here once I'm sure everything's good. I've got a few little areas here that I'm going to have to fill. You can see that I missed a little bit when I was welding. I'll just touch those up, give them a light grind, and then we're going to fit this door and see how it looks. Okay everyone, I got those little spots welded up. Got a really nice fit. It's a little bit tight right here, and it's hitting from here to about here. So what I'm going to have to do is just grind this down slightly and then weld the 2 pieces back together. Same thing right on the corner. But other than that, the door fits perfectly. You can see all the body lines are lining up right where they're supposed to be. Probably better than they were from the factory. So that pretty much takes care of the driver's door. I just have a few little repairs to do on the passenger. It doesn't need the same extensive repair on the front of the pillar there. I checked that out, but it's got a couple of different repairs that are going to need done. So I won't bore you with doing the other door. That's about it. Once that door is done, I am completely done with rust repair on this. It's about time. I think it's been 4 years. So anyhow guys, thanks a bunch for watching. Thanks for subscribing, And we'll catch you on the next one. Take care.